Yes, yeah, thank you for admitting that. Now listen very carefully to my question. Since your time in the IDF, have you ever in your life ever petitioned against something that you thought was wrong that was happening against the Palestinians?
Against the Palestinians? Not something specific. Okay.
Thank you. So that's why I'm qualifying my answer.
That's why they're bad. That's
Every
your
single one of them. You're telling me that in the 80 years of existence, not a single Israeli has actually seen something wrong that served in the IDF that actually said this is wrong and called out.
Wait, hold on. You know,
Thank you. End of story.
You know, wait, Brooklyn. You know how I know you're wrong. I've heard so many different programs put me like documentaries and videos where Israeli soldiers talk about things they did wrong. So you're wrong.
And you will have to quote them.
Yeah, really? We're gonna do this? You wanna go down this rabbit hole?
I mean, listen. You call Israel bad. You sound like a terrorist. Not us.
You ready? We can go down this rabbit hole if we want to. Now, one of the most quoted historians that people always run to is Avi Shlaim, right? But Avi Shlaim, as much as he's written on the behalf of narratives that are more against Israel, he's still an open, vehement Zionist. So does that mean that I gotta go finesse and juggle his testicles because he says 10 true things while also subsequently saying 12 bad things? No.
But you'll have to quote Haaretz, you'll have to quote the B'Tselem, you'll have to quote a lot of Israeli.
Yes,
Benny Morris wrote a lot. Yeah, even Benny Morris wrote a lot about the Nakba. Secondly, even Benny Morris wrote a lot about war.
Even we call someone of us, we call them a couple. Again, we love them, we care about them because
Is Benny Morris a couple for? Well, he is a very disgusting person. Once again, let me finish. I'm speaking. He is a very disgusting human being, right? He is a very, very violent, even more than Abishai. However, he's one of the leading scholars in using declassified documents. He reveals a lot about what's happening in Mecca. Yes, he's biased. Nonetheless, his scholarly work did like influence this field about Palestinian studies. But nonetheless, he is a disgusting person. So you're not if you accept him, then you don't. Why?
Why you love to bring them as
I
an
can tell
example?
you, I can tell you, because he uses sources, right? I can use his sources that he uses, like the declassified documents. I still think he's a terrible person. When you read a book, right, you don't have to accept everything in it. You can just accept.
No way.
One second, let me finish. When you read a book, you don't have to accept everything in it. If there's something that is well sourced, right, has its good primary sources, you can accept it. If there's a claim, a biased claim that is made in a book and has weak sources, you don't have to accept it. That's how like
So
critical.
what do you accept from him and what do you not accept from him? Because you can't just say those are not differentiated.
Yes.
Generally, I actually didn't read most of his books, but I accept like a lot of the primary sources that he uses, like the classified documents.
Jewish before the Palestinians.
Like the documents that he uses,
There
for
are
example,
actual examples.
I'll give you an example. Yeah, I'll give you an example. So there is a book called All That Remains by Walid Khalidi, right? It is a book that has 521 villages, Palestinian villages, that were ethnically cleansed in the Nakba. So in this book, he goes over every village and he says what happened there. And there is a critique of Benny Morris, right, in some of the, like, on some of the sections of the villages. Like, for example, Benny Morris lying by omission, or Benny Morris twisting the words of the New York Times article, for example, about what the Irgun did. Things like that, you know. But generally, I like to go to the primary source itself. Like, if the New York Times reported on the Irgun doing something, I just go to that article and I read it for myself. So that is something I accept, but his opinions, I really don't care for his opinions. Does that make sense?
Yes, I like Ramon Achille, the successful.
Like Jerry, shut up, Jerry. Like Jerry, Benny Morris calls the 48 Palestinians a fifth column. You know what that means, right?
No.
What?
A fifth
Column?
column.
No,
Yeah.
What?
Never heard
Yeah.
of that saying.
Okay, look it up. Look it up
Okay.
if you can now, because I don't really, I'll actually give you
No,
that.
very
A fifth column is a group of people who undermine a larger group from within it, usually in favor of an enemy
Yeah.
group or another nation.
So probably
So he calls them, he says, so Benny Morris,
You
changed
speak
his,
about the Palestinians.
Yariv, I'm speaking. Benny
But
Morris.
Benny Morris always said that they're the majority. He didn't say they're minority.
No, that's not what he said. He called the Palestinians vote or Israel or citizens of Israel. He calls them a fifth column, and he calls on the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians with Israeli citizenship because he calls them a fifth column and says that they will betray the Jews.
Oh, you're saying
And that
modern
Jews-
times. Okay, listen, I don't care
Now, literally like last.
Yeah, that's fine, but Ramona, you realize Benny Morris is a historian, so anything
That's
that I
what I
take...
think. That's what
I know.
think,
So I'm not gonna take his advice on what he thinks should happen to Palestinians.
And I agree with you.
I'm gonna take his advice on what he's documented in history, because that's what he does.
Exactly, that was my whole point. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
accept him, but there is a thing. Why do you quote somebody if like you don't agree with his opinions? You can
Yeah, so
quote
forget
something that is
his
well sourced.
contemporary views. Wait, but Ramona, forget his contemporary views. What has he quoted wrong about history?
Lying by omission.
What?
Like lying by omission. Like for example, in one of the villages, I mean, I don't have my computer on me, but if I see you next time, I will tell you the exact name. In one of the villages, he lied by omission in the sense that he says that the Palestinians attacked first, and that was during the Nakba, when it's not true. It's been reported in the New York Times that the Erdogan actually did a shooting in that village just days before, and then Morris ignores a lot of these details and makes it seem as if the Palestinians had started it, you know? Or
But,
just like
okay, but this is where you're historically inaccurate. He's talking about after the partition plan, right after the rejection, the Palestinians didn't...
No, he talks about before and after. What is
Yeah,
that?
but they did indeed attack right after the partition.
I'm talking about if you told me, if you give you an example and I give you a specific example on
That's what he's saying.
For example, I'll give you another example. You know the narrative about the Arab leaders told the Palestinians to leave.
Yeah.
Benny Morris, if you read his scholarly work on it, he keeps flip-flopping. Eventually in the 80s, he actually says that, no, that actually didn't happen. There is no evidence of that. And then before that, he had a different opinion, right? And he had, so it's things like that, you know?
But we have
Sometimes he
evidence.
corrected himself, or sometimes other people corrected him, and that's that. Like,
Actually, I don't know. That's actually,
I don't know. This is the whole point.
maybe it's possibly because that's an Israeli website.
No, because
No, because they call themselves
because in Saudi
No,
Arabia,
it's an Israeli website. No,
I
it's
don't
literally
mind.
called the
Wait, I
Arab
don't
Israeli War.
mind. AJJ, I don't mind. Like, that doesn't,
when you
that
call the
It's literally called the Arab-Israeli War.
not enough, right?
You guys try to change history. It's like not gonna change.
Very.
Why does it matter that they call themselves Arab when we
because
understand that?
in Saudi Arabia, when you go to Palestine,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not offended by calling
you
her
refer to the Jewish people.
Hey,
Palestinians and Arabs.
Crayon, relax, Crayon.
There
It
was
doesn't
Arab
matter.
and
Crayon, relax.
Jewish.
Crayon.
Drop him.
It's a difference.
Can you use this
I
crayon?
mean, why are we deflecting from what we were talking about?
Hey,
You
it
guys
doesn't
are-
matter.
Because everything is matter.
Guys,
No,
drop
but
him.
she was referencing Benny Morris. Benny Morris actually became privy to these archives in the 80s, which she said, and that is when he changed his stance on the idea that the Arab nations were the ones who told the Palestinians to leave. And it was not, in fact, the Arab nations that told the Palestinians to leave. It was multiple Yarib Sheket.
Guys, drop him. He's annoying.
Can I clarify another thing that Morris lied about that was actually historically incorrect and a bullshit lie? Morris kept insisting on that two-state position that the Zionists always hear them talk about. Oh, they didn't want the two-state solution in 37, 47, That's bullshit. And that was actually disproven countless times, that even the Zionists never accepted a partition plan. They never wanted a two-state solution. This is also another truth.
Are you living in delusion, brother? Honestly.
No. Actually, you wanna look-
Ben Gurion is quoted
They
in
didn't
saying
accept
that
47
he will not
partition?
adhere. Ben Gurion is quoted in saying, and I'm paraphrasing by the way, but I can quote unquote. He is quoted in saying that he will not pay attention to borders.
Right, and also
Did
not only
they
did they
accept
say
partition in
I'm
47 or not?
talking, Jay. Let me finish my point. Not only did they never accept to a partition plan, they never intended to accept the borders. And you know where else you could look this up? You can look up his original writings and other legal documents that were cataloged at Oxford University. You know who else proved Benny Morris wrong and humiliated Israel when he came out? Avi Schlein. So here you have another Israeli proving another Israeli wrong. So if you're gonna argue, you're gonna go argue with the other Jewish guy.
I'm not
with
arguing
the
with you.
Jewish
I'm
guy
just,
wrong.
listen, BK, whatever, Ramon at this point. Did they accept partition or not in 47? It's really
No,
simple.
because one of the contingency was to return the diaspora.
So then
Part of the
listen, you can
contingency
argue
was to
with
return the
yourself
Palestinians
because
and
the
refugees.
is
Did they return them?
This is what I say that the pro-Palestinians argue against history. It's not really, like, you're not in reality, bro. You're living in, like, fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Just look up on Google for me. Can you want to do it for you? Did the Jews accept partition in 47? Like, are you that, like...
No, then Ben-Gurion himself said he will accept the partition but not the borders.
Okay, but they accept the partition, so why do you lie about it? Why do you lie about it?
Jay, what's the difference between accepting the partition and the borders and accepting the partition but not the borders?
I don't know, but they accepted the partition plan.
I can tell you what the difference
That's all I
is. The
know.
difference
That's what
lies
everybody
in...
knows. That's what
the
the world knows, you know?
Hey,
So
can I
you guys
speak?
can keep living in your bubble.
Can I speak?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Half of the General Assembly actually voted for a one-state solution until they were pressured, because most of the world was in mandate and colonial powers, like Algeria, which voted for the partition plan because they were a French colony. Nonetheless, the Palestinians boycotted this resolution, which was non-binding, right? Ben-Gurion himself said that he will accept the partition but not the border. That means he will accept the concept of the partition, but then he will go on to take over the whole land. So if I make an agreement with
When did he say
you,
that?
and I
When did
don't,
he say
and I'll pull up my computer. I don't have my computer on. You don't have it, and I got my computer. Anyway, the point is, yeah, but the point is that if there is an agreement between me and you, and I boycott it completely, like I'm not making any agreement, and let's say you accepted and I rejected, right, or I boycotted. Does that give you the right to come and does that give you the right to enforce it or to force it?
No.
Because typically when there's an agreement,
Ramona,
there's two sides.
you keep referencing how 181 wasn't legally binding, but I
Yeah.
find it astonishing. Yeah, I find it astonishing how you guys reference UN Resolution 242 because 242 also isn't legally binding.
No, it's actually a Security Council resolution, and 338 is a Security Council resolution.
Wait, so 242 is legally binding now?
One second, let me pull up the
So
Security Council.
Google
No,
wants to lie.
one second, I'll pull it
Right?
up.
The truth is, guys, you have to be consistent.
Jay,
You have
please, respectfully, Jay, I'm talking.
Sure,
Pull up
sure.
338. Can you pull up 338?
I know, but you guys bring up 242.
No. Pull up 338. You have your computer. I don't have mine. Please, pull it up.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
your
fine.
screen.
338 is fine.
No. Show us on your screen.
Yes,
Show
it is. It is considered legally binding. 338, sure. But
Come up,
242,
can you bring iPhone up? Because I don't have
242
one.
is not, and you guys constantly reference.
Janine, I'll read, do you want me to read this to you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Wait, did he say 242 is not legally?
Yes,
It's
that's
not.
right.
Look it up on Google,
Are
man.
you crazy?
Jayon,
Oh
hold
my
on
God,
a
look
second.
it up on
Let's
Google, bro.
Jayon, let's focus on one thing at
Here,
a
let me
time.
just know more.
You said that the Zionists
Mo.
originally accepted. Hello,
Yeah.
why is he cutting me off?
Council
No,
resolution.
On its, look how he can read. It's not legally binding on its
On its
own.
own, yes.
Thank you. So what do you
Because
say?
both parties have
That's
to
not
agree.
Ramona's
It's a
telling you.
Security Council
Can you mute
resolution.
this guy, please? That's why she's
Yeah.
telling you
Ramona's
about
speaking
the
over
other laws
you.
that go with it. That's why she's telling you about the other laws that go with it. Because on its own, it's not binding. It's binding because of the other laws that go with it. Tell them.
Not only that, but it's a Security Council resolution. It is binding, just like 338 is binding. And yeah, again, Jay, you're not
That's not even true. The reason why it's not legally
That is
binding is because it doesn't
again, like I first said, again, Article 25 of the UN Charter, all Security Council resolutions are binding. Article 25 of the United Nations Charter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Now, let's go back to what we were discussing earlier. It's not a matter of maintaining the status quo. We have to create a dynamic state oriented towards expansion. Every school child knows that there's no such thing as history as a final arrangement, not with regard to the regime, not with regard to the border, not with regard to the international agreements. From his war diaries, we walked outside, Ben-Gurion accompanying us. Alan repeated this question: what is to be done with the Palestinian population? Ben-Gurion waved his hand in gesture which said, drive them out. The Fakrabin leaked censored version of Fakrabin memoirs published in New York Times 23 October 79. Partition, after the formation of the large community of the establishment of the state, I can see and expand to the whole club. Yeah, like I said.
There's
Thank
more
you.
too. That's not the only. Those aren't the only quotes. There's also
Oh,
ones
there's
about
letters to his
smashing
son.
Transjordan. Yeah.
What?
There's ones about smashing Transjordan
So,
and
Ramona, let me
entering
ask
into
you a
the
question.
Nan and.
Rhoda, let me ask you a question. If they didn't accept partition, and then they went behind closed doors and they said, we actually want to accept partition and agree with the two-state, would you take their words over their actions? Okay, but do you see
Their actions match what I literally did.
Yeah, but did you not just see what you guys just did right there? You just took their words over their actions.
No. Their actions match what I read. Jay, how much of Palestine did they take over? 56% was partition to the Jews. How much of it did they take over?
Current day?
No, 48.
Or 48. 48, I mean, I don't know, it's like 70-something percent. Actually,
Yeah, how
maybe
much
less.
was partition to them? No more. How much was partition to them? Jay,
55?
Jay.
You
Yeah,
know,
so
can I
there,
just ask?
yeah, go on.
And I want to just ask a basic ass question because I feel like this is going over his head. Jay, do you know the difference? Jay, do you know the difference between a partition and borders?
The partition and borders, I mean, you can
What's the
clearly
difference?
a partition is a split the land, and borders is just like your country's borders.
Right. So can you agree to a partition and not agree to borders?
The partition had borders. What are you talking about?
Listen to my question. Can you agree to a partition and not agree to borders?
No, because the partition had borders.
Okay. So you can agree to a partition and you can agree to not have borders.
And dude, you're just doing a lot of work.
Partition just means that you have agreed to the terms of dividing land.
Yes.
That doesn't necessarily mean you have defined borders. Because up until present, Israel does not have defined borders.
Yeah, even UN Resolution 242 gives you defined their borders.
Listen to what I just said. Listen to what I just said. I'm trying to make you understand. Oh no, we understand. We
Yeah,
clearly
okay, so
understand. That's why
nothing
I'm
that
breaking
can-
it down for you. You can agree to partition land. I have a cake. I can agree to share the cake with you. We just haven't agreed as to how much of this cake I'm giving you.
But you know why you're lying to yourself? Because it was agreed. 55-45 or 55-40 something and like
Can you
Jerusalem
show me where Israel has defined borders?
I'm saying UN Resolution 1
Yeah,
is
well,
borders. But
Wait,
it,
no,
why you're
I
skipping
just
for
want to
10 days.
clarify. I just want to clarify what I meant. I want to say that they claim they have accepted the partition. There was already borders on the partition, which was 56% for 30% of the population. Yaffa was supposed to be part of the future Palestinian state. What I just read is Ben Gurion himself saying, "Oh, we accept the concept of a partition, but we will expand to all of Palestine." So Jay said he saw block to us. And when I told him how much was partition to the
Yeah,
Jews,
yeah.
he said about 1 second. He said about 56%. And then I told him how much did they actually take in 48. He said, 70%.
No, I didn't know
What does that mean, Jay? Do his words match his actions or not?
Yes.
Ramona, when
Thank you.
Ramona,
That's it.
when the other party rejects and attacks you, you have the right to take their land. It
Go and
wasn't
attack
free.
them. Ramona, can you remind me
No,
again
no,
what
no,
was
no,
yesterday?
Yeah, your narrative is completely flawed, Jay.
Oh,
You and you what's
book,
you
man.
see what I mean?
Look,
See, this is why I don't come up because he just starts talking and you gotta moderate this, or else I'm just gonna bail now.
is anyone interrupting you guys?
Yeah, you are.
Just 1 second, real quick. Yeah, one
No,
second,
no.
Jabber. Just
You are.
1 second, Jabber. Okay, just 1 second. Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna let you respond, but like, just because I know you already got a violation, so I don't want to get anything into anything. So go ahead.
I will be very chill now that AJ is gone. And by the way, there's so much expertise on this panel. I don't need to be here, but I just find it fascinating that, like, J1, you're so disingenuous, and even the way you all even carry on the conversation. If you ever notice, somebody will make a point, and then the next sentence out of your mouth is, "Let me ask you a question," right? And it's like you're just incapable of actually just resting in this place where you can even ask a clarifying question, or even to like acknowledge that like you're not some supernatural beings. You Zionists, we're Jews. We're human beings. Okay, we are not supernatural. We make mistakes. We say things that are bad. We do things that are bad because we're human. We are human beings. Shut up. We are human beings, okay? And every single time you say, let me ask you a question, that signals to every single person in the comments and here that you simply have no interest in actually listening at all. Now, you'll argue that because you're a child, but you need to look deep inside yourself because you just don't do it. And neither does your clown friend AJ, neither does any of these Zionists who come up to you. You exhaust people to the point of like just eternity. You make people have to repeat themselves 4 times because it's clear that you just do not actually take in the information. You're always looking to pivot to something else. And until you prove me wrong, or anybody wrong, like after 15 months, like you expect people, it's like Mo said, it's like you think you deserve his patience? Do you think you deserve anybody's patience on this panel? Or do you really believe that?
Can I respond now? Are you done
You
with
sit there and say, well, shut up, I'm done. And if you
Okay,
say things like, oh,
that's
you're not interested in having a conversation, it's not a conversation when the other person is not actually responding to what you're putting over there. It's literally like a tennis match where
So let me respond to
you
you.
hit the ball over, you just watch it go by, and then you take your own ball and serve it again. That's what you do.
Can I respond to you now that you finished your are you still going? Okay, hold on, no, let me respond to you. So, Dabber. So, I've had many conversations, not just in person, I mean, on this app, but a lot more in person with actual people. And I can tell you, I am more genuine than you guys because if I go through my YouTube history right now, half of it is your side, half of it is Al Jazeera, documentaries from pro-Palestinian perspectives, and I actually actively learn from those sides. Let's go through your history. Let's see if you learned anything from our side. If you want to be genuine, Jabber, I didn't interrupt you, okay? I take an unbiased perspective on both sides. I can show you my YouTube history if you actually want. I don't mind. It's all Al Jazeera, all your propaganda. I'm looking into it, okay? So what
But see, hold on. See how you labeled it is, can I just interject for a second? But you're labeling it as, you said all your propaganda. Like you're labeling it as propaganda.
When I watched an Al Jazeera documentary talking about Zionists coming into, I don't even want to, Palestine and taking it over, all they point to is it being European colonialism and nothing to do with Jews being indigenous to that land. When you leave out that...
Because it doesn't matter. Because first of all, the indigeneity thing is something that you guys... All right, finish your statement and then I want to respond to that.
Just calling Jews European colonizers is distorting history. Europeans didn't call Jews Europeans. What are you guys talking about?
Wait. You're saying that just calling Jews European colonizers. See, again, like you were all saying before, words matter. Nobody ever said that all Jews are European colonizers, right? But the Zionist initiative is a political ideology that was based on taking over that land and displacing the people there and ethnically cleansing it, okay, if necessary, and that's what they did. And Edward Montague himself, please just be honest with me, please. Do you know the name Edward Montague, and have you read the Montague letter, and are you familiar with the context around it?
No, I'll say I don't know, okay?
Okay, I have to tell you, J1, please, look up Edward Montague, sit down with a cup of coffee or a drink or whatever you want, and just read through it, okay? And please read through it with an open mind.
How do you spell Montague?
It was written Edwin Montague. Edwin Montague. And I'm not even going to tell you who he is right now. I don't even want to tell you who he is. I just want you to read it, look him up, read the letter. Read it, right? I grew up on Long Island, Ashkenazi. I believe all the things you guys believe. Why? Because people told me to believe them and they told me it was true. But I'm the kind of person that doesn't take things at face value, right? Like, that's what infuriates me about that whole Josephus thing earlier. We're not going to go back there, right? But that's why I got so infuriated. Because how could any rational human being, right, take that one line from a chapter in a book 2,000 years ago and be like, and think that's a mic drop moment, right? I don't take anything at face value. I owe it to my people as an American, as a Jewish American, okay? And as someone in whose name Palestinians are being slaughtered right now, I owe it to them not to try to debunk everything they're saying, right? But to try to debunk and try to challenge the things that I believe. the question that I ask people is, what, if anything, okay, have you read, listened to, or researched since October 7th that challenges your existing beliefs prior to October 7th? And if your answer to that is, have you read the Hamas Charter, then I know you're not actually listening to me or answering the question. So that's what I did. And I went away for 4 months after I got screamed at for saying, please, can you check our bias? Can we just all calm down and get the facts straight after October 7th? And nobody did that. And I can't even, 15 months later, and I'm landing the plane in about 30 seconds, I can't even get my Jewish friends, half of whom will not speak to me, okay? And because I challenged them on very simple things, they can't even bring to their lips to say, Jabs, you're right. The 40 beheaded babies thing was egregious. To take advantage of wait. Take advantage of people's raw emotions like that in this crazy time, right? For the media to so program and this bloodthirst into people's minds and embed it in their brains, because we are human beings and we are very susceptible, okay? And for those people to not even be able to say, you're right, there were no beheaded babies, and I totally understand the impact of that, and that absolutely has had an effect on how I feel, and the tacit, agreement, right, and support of all of this unaliving is absolutely, you're absolutely right. A lot of it has to do with
media
that.
said 40 babies, not the government, buddy.
Wait, no, hold on. Let me. I literally.
Oh, the media, not
I know. I was literally.
No, it was the Israeli
Ryan,
government and the
Ryan,
media.
Ryan,
It was the Israeli government.
Hold on,
No, bro,
Gabby,
you
Gabby,
know what you're talking about.
Wait,
Taz,
Ryan.
are you there? Or officials in the, and who are you, bro? You just came up here, so shut up.
Who are you?
Yeah, Ryan. 1 second, Ryan. I literally shut up so he could speak. Okay, so Gabber.
Yeah,
did I?
Shut the fuck up, Ryan.
There's no official government that said
Wait,
40
I know, Ryan. I got you. 1 second. Trust me, please, bro, please. Okay, Gabber. As you can tell now.
Shut up, Ryan.
Yo, chill
Gabber.
out,
Hey, bro,
Ryan,
nobody's
yo.
talking to you, bro.
Gabber.
Yeah, I'm talking to you. I know, I'm
Okay,
talking to you.
Gabber.
Yeah, it's
Gabber.
not your fucking turn.
I'm talking to you.
Jesus Christ. This is what I'm saying. You guys are gonna have
Let's
conversation.
Jay
You're misinformed. That's your problem.
Okay,
No,
let
I'm not,
me
bro.
respond.
No, I'm not.
Okay, right, Ryan, you
Whose
just came
official
up.
stance is that it's 40 days?
Can I please respond?
Yeah,
Please?
let Jay
You're not
respond
in
and
the
we'll
conversation.
hear
Hold on,
him.
Ryan,
we
don't
agree that
worry,
one baby is
don't
enough?
worry, Ryan, don't worry.
Can we agree that one baby
Okay,
is
can
enough?
we,
One baby,
Ryan,
there you go, one baby.
Right, there
Yeah,
it is.
can we
One
agree
baby
on
is
that?
enough. Right. To slaughter hundreds of thousands of people. Right. One
No,
baby.
no, no.
Okay, Gabber, can I respond to what
Ryan,
you
we're
just
done. We're done.
You got false information, buddy.
Ryan, I know what you do. This is a
can
Zion thing. I
everybody
get
hear,
no,
okay,
no.
can everybody hear me? Ryan, you came up,
Who
you're
told you to
crashing
stop
out,
everybody
Ryan,
stopping
Ryan,
Carry on.
Ryan,
No, you support
guys.
terrorism. You're American.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah.
Ryan,
You
okay,
support
guys,
Hamas? Hold on,
I do.
Jabber, you support
I-
Hamas?
Oh my God.
Yep, I do. I support
Okay.
resistance
All right.
too.
We'll let Trump know. I guess
Okay,
deportation.
cool. Oh, okay, great.
Report
Okay,
to
can I
God.
respond? Can I respond?
Can everybody relax here, guys?
I guess we'll send you to the
No,
genocide.
respect the host. Respect the host.
Oh my God, Ryan has came up crashing out. Is he okay? What's going on?
Mods, Taz, or no? You
He's got a lot of problems.
I don't have any here right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of problems.
Okay, so Gabber,
Jay. Yeah.
can I speak, Taz, or you want to say something?
No, let Jay respond and then we'll hear from Janine and then Ben or Mo, whoever wants to chime.
Okay, Gabber, as you can see, I gave you the time to speak uninterrupted. You feel
It's not 4 o'clock, Habibi.
Approach. You're not screaming at me, and you're speaking, so I can respect that and I'll listen to you, okay? The first thing I did was pull up your Montague memo, and when I read a sentence where he says, I deny that Palestine is today associated with the Jews or properly regarded as a fit place for them to live in. The Ten Commandments were delivered to Jews on the Sinai. When you say something like that, and you try to demote Jewish ingenuity or history to that land, I disregard what you're going to say on this paper. I'm sorry, okay? Because I don't care for the Ten Commandments on Sinai. Our entire history, our entire religion, everything to do with us is on that land. I don't know if you said you're Jewish or if you're French Jew. I don't want to go into that right now. I want to respond to the other thing you said about I forgot. Oh yeah.
Hold on,
40
J1, hold on.
No, but
Hold on.
Gabber,
Hold on a
three
second.
minutes-
Think about
three
what you
minutes
just said. Think about what you just said.
You can
You
reply to
looked
it,
at it
bro.
on the, wait, you called it up on the internet. I said, sit down and read the letter. Do you know who he is? Wait, do you know who he is?
He's like a British, I don't know, like a politician.
You do, okay, so how can you, do me a favor, don't respond to it now, J1. That,
Okay,
see, that just
sure,
proves
sure,
to me
sure.
that you don't, right?
I'll
You
read
need
it
to know who the
entirely.
guy is.
You're
I
right,
can
you're
tell
right.
you who he is, but I'm not going to because I'm not going to do your homework for you.
Okay, sure.
You're gonna be very surprised when you actually find out who he is.
I'll read it.
No, you're not. You're not. You see, you're not even listening.
I
I
heard
why?
you.
I'm gonna get coffee. I'm not
Bro,
even.
I heard you for 3 minutes uninterrupted.
I know, but then you
Every
just went
word
to
you
Google,
spoke.
read one line, and said, "I can't trust what the guy says." You don't
How do
even
you-
know who he is.
How do you think I read
You
one
don't even
line?
know what it is.
How do you think I
Alright,
read
let
one
him,
line? Yeah, but how do you think I read
let
one
him-
line if that line is like 8 paragraphs down? I literally read the whole thing as you guys are speaking. Almost. I read fast, okay? Then you talked about 40 babies. First of all, as the other guy said, that was never an Israeli government code. You can't show it to me because it
It
never was.
doesn't matter what
One
it
second,
was.
one
The
second.
official
One,
Israeli
Robert,
government. What
you're
does it
showing,
matter?
you're showing that you can't hold the phone because I gave you the respect, okay? It actually was a French reporter, and the idea came out and said on October 10th or 11th, I believe, that 40 babies were never beheaded. They actually denied this claim. So when you use this, and you seem disingenuous when you use these arguments. Honestly, I've debunked these many times, and I've heard people take back what they say. But you keep using it 15 months later, it's crazy. It's insane.
No, I'm not using it. I would never bring it up if they weren't using it.
I never used 40
Babies, ripped balloons, babies
never said
in ovens, hot out of
Did I
women's
say this? Did I say this?
I don't
Guys, be
care what
careful of
you
the
say.
live, please.
Did I say
Jayon,
any
the
of this?
point. Jayon,
I
the
don't
point
care what
is,
you say.
Jayon, the point is that that rumor was spread and perpetuated for 4 whole days before the Israeli government decided to take hold and say, no, wait, this didn't happen. That also is
investigated,
a justification.
It's not a rumor, it's true. It's totally bullshit.
Systemic rape never happened.
Yeah, Jaden,
Let me tell you the exact report.
you claim that you are Jewish, right?
The exact
Jaden, you
report.
claim that you're a Jewish guy, right?
I'm
I
sorry.
am-
Take out the word
You
claim
said that
before
you're
you
Jewish,
address
right?
it. Take out the word
We're
claim
talking-
before you address it.
You said you're Jewish, piece of shit. I know you're not a Jew. You know you're not a Jew. Hala? Shba? מי מלך מלכי המלכים?
No, are you
מי
there?
מלך מלכי המלכים ירדן, זונה? מי מלך מלכי המלכים, you piece of shit?
So,
If you're Jewish, I'm a pilot, I'm a Palestinian.
why are
Can you
you
chill?
attacking him?
No.
Why are you attacking him? That's crazy.
Well, he could be
Because he's a
Jewish.
piece of
but-
shit
No,
and
are
I
you
am.
here?
He probably doesn't
Right here.
know
Like,
enough
who
about
am
I'm
I?
gonna give you just,
I'm
can
your,
you
I'm
just
your
moderate for
nightmare.
like the
I'm
next
his
like 5
nightmare. I
minutes?
know this guy, I know this cover.
Well,
We know who is the guy.
Dude, Morocco, anybody could be Jewish. He could still be.
He's not a Jew.
Yeah, but even if he is, who cares? Like, there's bad Jews.
No,
and
I
good
care
Jews.
because,
refrain
because he
from-
claims something that he's not.
Morocco, can we refrain from denying people's Jewish
Yeah, sure, he's Jewish.
Can you prove me that you're a Jew? Can you show me
He's
that?
a-
Can you show me that your mother is a Jew, please?
He's an uninformed Jew. That's what it is. It's fine.
He's not. He's not. He's not. Look at him. He's a Schmittler.
It doesn't
He's a
change
Yazi.
anything.
He's a Schmittler. Yeah, he's a
If he's
KKK.
Jewish, if he's Muslim, it doesn't change anything.
He is a KKK. Schmittler Yazi.
is he there?
Okay, Morocco, let me tell him something. He said he debanked the fact that 40 babies was beheaded, and it was very important to me to mention something. It say in the report, the original report, 40 babies was unalive, some of them was beheaded, and they didn't know which head belonged to which baby, and that's a fact.
Could please name me one infant. One infant. I know the name. If you
Yes,
could name me
yes.
one
You want to see the
infant that
baby?
was unalive.
You want to see the baby? I show you.
Oh my God.
You want to see the baby?
It
Can
was
you give somebody mod?
Do you want to see the baby?
I cannot moderate.
You give somebody mod?
People who will destroy you.
So Morocco, if you could please
Donald
Wait,
Trump
hold
is
on
Joe
one second,
Biden now,
please.
Zionist.
I gave you more
Donald
time.
Trump is the biggest Zionist ever in the world.
Okay,
all right, can
And we will cook you like a basketball.
Let me drop and come back. Let me drop and come back.
Okay, yeah, see if it'll work.
All due respect, Mariam, there was only one infant that was unalive on October 7th, and that baby's name is Mila Shem. No, I'm sorry, Mila Cohen. Mila Cohen.
Working?
I said one infant. Infant is under the
Jewish,
age of
Alex.
1. She was 9 months old. She was unalive due to a stray bullet.
Listen, continue to deny facts, not to change the reality. If you're looking for the truth, you will find the truth.
Well,
When you continue to defend
according to
hate
Israeli
group,
records.
call them freedom
I'm not
fighters,
defending
the problem is you. Period.
So I'm just giving you what I found, right, based off of the
You know what's insane?
This is
I just want to say one last thing to Jabba.
Alright, hold on one second. Vinny, is it working for you?
Moroccan, just real quick.
Is it
one
working,
second.
Janine?
I did, yeah, I just muted him. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Mariam, the only thing that I am going by is Israeli media, and according to
What about a
Israeli media,
2-year-old? What about a 2-year-old?
including, hold on one second, including YNET News, clearly stated that there was only one infant, 9 months old, that was unalived on October 7th, and that infant was unalived due to a stray bullet. Am I saying that children were not unalived on October 7th? Children were unalived because we know that there were, Apache helicopters spewing random.
That's false
This is
information.
October 7th.
You know what? Without lies, you don't
Look it
have
up.
narrative. You continue lying over again.
Prove me wrong.
Entire families were analyzed.
Yeah, I know. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
People was
Prove me
great.
wrong. My name is Janine. That's my profile.
Beheaded.
Prove me
People
wrong.
being murdered in the most brutal
Prove me
way.
wrong. All I ask is that you prove me wrong.
I will. Can you get your I will.
Okay, I'll show you here first of all because I don't have following this account.
I have. Here, I have. I'll show you.
You have, so you can show.
I can
That's
show you
number
later.
one. Number two, if you want to see the horrific thing that happened in October 7th, the only thing you need to do is go to Mass Atrocities group in Telegram. You're gonna see the raw photos and the raw videos that took by the I saw the children laying on the ground was unalived and the police shoot on them as if still unalived already.
Let's go
So
short
why
time.
hasn't the UN? No, I'm not doing short time. So why hasn't Israel presented these findings to the UN subcommittee?
So let me speak after you.
The UN actually talked about that there is atrocities that October 7th happened and
No one did
children, women, of course they do, you just ignore it. I have it on my page. Oh no, it's on my old page. You're gonna see everything that I saw in the UN that they talked about it. You chose to ignore it because when you look for one side all the time.
October the 12th, 2023, Israel releases images of slain children to rally support. Now, where are we getting this from? Let's see what Israel did. You're trying to say they didn't claim this bullshit. Israel rallies images of H group attack in order to rally support. Netanyahu releases pictures of dead babies and charred infants. Israel's government showed U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and NATO Defense Minister graphic images of dead children and civilians, saying they were unalived by Palestinian groups to build support for its response. What also happens on October the 12th? Our stupid commander-in-chief Biden at the time says 40 babies. Where'd he get the information from? Israel.
Oh, you're just insinuating it. Okay.
No,
so
it's written right here in black and white.
What do you think 40 babies now?
Israel's government shows U.S. Secretary of
Where
State
does it say 40?
Anthony Blinken and NATO
Where
Defense
does it say
Minister
40?
graphic images of dead children and civilians, saying Thursday they were done by H group members.
That's what happened.
The office also released social media pictures of a dead infant in a pool of blood and a charred body of child parts, apparent effort to stoke global anger against the militants over the attack. Why on the 12th? Because it coincides with the release of the 40 baby nonsense that didn't happen. It's called manufactured consent. Go Google that terminology and understand what it means. Atrocity propaganda. Go Google that and see what it means. Atrocity propaganda and manufactured consent. Since you like Google those two things.
Sure,
So
I will.
yes, it
I did.
definitely did
So,
make an official.
Brooklyn, let me respond to you though. Please. So you brought up a report that said Israel showed graphic images of children and civilians unalived by H group on October 7th, all of which happened, and then you jumped from A to C, or A to Z actually, saying now they made this claim to the U.S. government, and the U.S. government may never happen. So first of all, obviously that's a bunch of load of bullshit. My question to you guys is, why are you guys so vehemently like trying to defend H group when every rational person, even pro-Palestinian people,
Nobody defends H group.
you got Jabber right here.
Why
saying
is
you
me-
defend them.
Why is me condemning what Israel does and has been doing? Why is that all of a sudden?
Everyone understands H
Let me
group.
finish.
Everyone
Let
understands.
me finish.
Everyone. Even
Why
the-
is it me condemning? Why is me and everyone on this panel condemning what they did, which is fact in your face? All of a sudden, you're interpreting this as defending H group.
Sound doctor. Hello.
Did they do those things or not? What you just read, did they do those things?
Yes, Hamas,
Okay,
Hamas resisted in a form of resistance.
Wait,
The difference is not raping women.
hold on.
They didn't do that. They didn't do that.
No, hold on a second.
Yes, they did. They did, and there is.
Resistance is not killing children either. It's not
They didn't do that.
Oh my God.
Parading a woman around. Parading a
They
woman around.
didn't
What are they
do
doing?
that.
So you think
Stop.
Saudi Arabia didn't
I'm
have
trying to
this?
tell you.
So they didn't almost
Where they are at the time. However, as of now, Israel has not allowed for an independent investigation into the allegations made on October 7th to prove that it was H group that unalived anyone. We do know, we've already have reports from commanders within the IDF. We have reports from ISF commanders as well, stating that they had to conduct enable the Hannibal Directive in order to make sure that no civilians were to enter into Gaza. We also know that they opened fire on an entire home. We know that they opened
Be right there,
fire
school.
on the festival goers that were trying to run away from the festival. So we need an investigation into October 7th. We need an investigation into the bullets and the shrapnel and everything that was dropped, that was left there, in order to find out what exactly happened and who unalived whom. We cannot blame one specific party without that investigation, and Israel is the only one that is refusing to allow for this investigation. That's all I have to say.